Hey,
What up, what up?
it's your favorite couple, the
The
Coopers. I'm Kelly,
Kales. And I'm Damon.
boyfriend.
And welcome to Intentional Connections, the podcast, the show where we talk about how to stay together on purpose.
Dive in with us every Thursday as we talk about parenting, communication, money, sex, fun, and lots more. Hey, boyfriend.
What's going on? Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Pretty good. I missed you today.
Did you now?
I did.
No.
I was looking forward to coming back in.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We back in here again with you guys. Welcome to Intentional Connections. No?
Welcome to Intentional Connections.
Almost forgot. Between you and me. I was going to mess up again, guys, because it's still not my thing.
Is it me and you or you and me?
I don't know. Each time I keep forgetting.
Between you and me and you.
Did y'all miss us?
I did.
I'm on my Varnell Hill.
Oh, what is that? Who is Varnell Hill?
If y'all can see how I was looking at her right now.
Who is that?
I promise y'all, everybody who's listening, right? They immediately did a face palm like, oh no, Kelly. Why?
Who is that? Please tell me.
No, I can't. It's not a thing to tell you. Like, if you don't know, it's a problem, and you're going to have to figure out why it's a problem for you.
You're supposed to have my back.
It's getting worse. It's getting worse by you asking, is it a person? So
just answer the question.
No, we're gonna discuss it and get it together later. But I'm just gonna let the people keep laughing right now for a minute. I ain't gonna do you like that.
You just did. What's up? Who is it?
Okay, baby.
Come on.
It's the Martin episode with Varnell Hill, Tommy Davidson. And this is why I didn't want to do this on the recording, because the fact that you're still looking at me like you don't know it makes it now more worse. You made it worse for yourself.
Tommy Davidson is.
No, it's too
much. And I know
much.
the episode.
Do y'all hear the loud sigh? Everybody who's listening got my did you miss me when I said it, and now it turned into this whole thing.
Well, do you have an interesting...
Oh my gosh. This is ridiculous, people.
Well, anyway, over the weekend, we went to Phoenix to celebrate my cousin.
Is this what you're talking about?
Yes.
Congrats, sir. Yes, we had a good time. We had a good time this past weekend.
We did a day trip, took the kids. It was very important for the kids to go to this event and see someone graduate from college. And he actually got his master's, so his family was there. We surprised him. I mean, literally, it was a 24-hour turnaround trip, but it was such a good time, and it was worth it.
No, it was great. It's always good to celebrate accomplishments, especially your close family, and we're very proud of our cousin, and can't say it enough. Congrats, sir.
And then we came back, and then we hit up Lava Cantina.
Oh.
Anytime you're in Dallas on a Sunday.
Party time.
Definitely go to Lava. It starts at 4. It's over at 10 because we have to go to work in the morning. We're working professionals. But it's a pretty cool atmosphere by this group called Mature Party Crowd. With a live DJ. They have, a live band, 2 DJs, sometimes 3. It's outside, indoor type of venue. And it just never disappoints.
Listen, the commercial that you're giving the people right now, it hit everything, but it still really doesn't hit it enough for y'all to understand that, okay, that's one of the things we do. If we going out, Lava Cantina will be in the list of the top 5 options every single weekend, okay? Yeah. If y'all are in the Texas area, it is located in the Colony, Texas, Grandscape, near Grandscape. It is a event venue, I guess. It used to be a restaurant.
It is a restaurant still.
Right? They don't serve food no more, though. It's all about the party.
That's on that day.
I don't know how to explain it better.
They have events, but they do. It is a restaurant as well.
All right on. So on Sundays, it's all about the parties. And we're not talking about the teeny bopper clubs, okay?
Yes, no drama.
Please, I promise you, if you're in our target audience, it's for you. If you are in our target audience, it is for you.
What's that, H80?
Right. I was trying not to put no numbers on it, right? I guess if you listening to this, you the target audience, okay? Listen, please go.
Yeah, good time.
We're not getting anything from them. This is just us saying, please go, because it's a good time, and we want to see you there. Party with us.
Party with us, because you know what happens when we party.
On that note right there, you already know what we're going to. It's that time again, guys. We jumping right into Toasted time. Anybody toasting with us today?
We always singing. Do you ever notice that?
Hey, you got to sing when you got to lubricate these vocals. I'm trying to get it all together, right?
Who?
Lubricate. Something's going on, guys.
Yeah.
Lubricating the vocals today on Toasty Time on tap is we taking it real regal for my grown and sexy. It's really a grown man thing, but we're going to that good old Maker's Mark. Just good old Maker's Mark whiskey. You should be aware of it. If you're not, I don't know what's going on with you. So,
do you sip this or shot this?
It's more of a sippage.
Okay, good.
It's really for old fashions. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me I'm wrong, but I'm gonna say old fashions, right?
Okay.
So anyway, cheers to you.
Cheers to me.
Cheers to me. And cheers to intentional connections.
You legit said that we were supposed to sip it, and then
woo,
you shot it
as usual. Toasty time.
This is strong, and I'm a lady.
I mean, it gets me toasty quick and a hairy, guys. Wowzers.
Okay, that's interesting.
On that note, you know what else is going on these days?
Tell them, baby.
It's springtime. Welcome to spring. Is it officially spring yet? I don't even know what the actual date is supposed to be, but the way it's 70s and 80s out here in this Texas weather, it's going to be spring to me. And if you didn't know, spring and fall, it's kind of a tie. Are my favorite seasons. I feel like it's a lot of people's favorite seasons because you can't beat the weather, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for yours truly, that means it's softball time. Yeah, if you didn't know, I get down. I'm a bit of an athlete. Some might say All-American.
Oh.
Some people might try to test me and be like, really, dude?
But
then I got to turn around and be like, actually, kind of is.
It kind of is.
Come on, don't do that. But my biggest thing is softball. Yes, in my H80 season, I'm still repping for that good old in the mix team. Shout out. So softball starts up, but the problem is because I'm in my H80 season, and I go out there real hard, still thinking I'm going to rock and roll, and then the next day, the way I can't move my body, and there's muscles and there's things that's going on my body that just says, why did you do that? And then I got to turn around and do it all again the next week. But I wouldn't give it up. I love it.
It's just pop a leaf.
So it's definitely springtime. It's softball going on, but I'm also looking forward to spring break.
Yeah.
Spring break for the kiddos. I know people like, well, why are you looking forward to spring break for the kiddos? Yeah, it's going to be a good time. We always try to make a good time.
We can go somewhere. We down for it, whether it's for them, whether it's for us. We're going to have a good time. We got a couple of surprises for them in store.
Definitely.
So, and we can't say anything right now, so be on the lookout for that. Another thing that I just really didn't tell you about, not tell you about, but I didn't mention that is like super exciting to talk about right now really quickly is the fact that it's March. It is spring.
Sure.
But this is the month of our second anniversary.
Oh. Dun,
dun, dun, dun.
This is true, folks. This month is when it went all down.
It did.
It went down too, baby. I'm talking about went down on the 25th.
Look forward to that episode coming up, celebrating our 2-year anniversary on March 25th. So yeah,
yes,
so that's
it's only been
pretty
2
cool.
years, but I promise y'all it's been more like 28 years. Okay, so people might be like, "Wait, they only been married 2 years?" Yep, but we've known each other for
quite some time.
And it really does feel like 28 years. Make sure y'all understand this. That's why we do not proclaim to be experts in any form of fashion. We are just regular people. We're just a regular couple. And we're just here to share our experiences and what makes us us, and hopefully a few tidbits in an effort to help whoever may need some help. Or if you don't, just take it with you and maybe share it with somebody else. So then today, what you here for, right? What are we talking about this week? I know we just said spring break with the kids, and I'm looking forward to it and all of that, right? But man, the topic of discussion for this week, people, none other than parenting.
Whoa.
Dun, 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 dun.
Whoa.
I know somebody probably was like, no, why isn't it like celebration bells? Why is it a dun, 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 dun sound? Let's just be honest. Parenting topic is a heavy, heavy, heavy topic.
It don't have to be.
And we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about our experience, and it'll be interesting. Like if we can actually get people to chime in with us and give us their feedback.
Please.
If you've dealt with things that we bring up today, maybe you can tell us how you dealt with it, so we can have that advice.
No, this is true statement right now. I want y'all to understand. Please reach out to us because I'm gonna just put myself out there. I need some help. Talk to me. After this episode, please talk to me and tell me your thoughts, your feedback, your opinion, because I need some advice. All right?
So, if you listen to our initial episode, we introduced ourselves and you learned that Damon doesn't have his own biological children. We had several discussions, which I now honestly think that they were really just to make me feel comfortable with the
That's not
fact
true.
that he accepted my children, the fact that he accepted the fact that I even had kids. We also discussed, like, this is why we're dating. We discussed, the fact that I didn't want to have any more kids. And I wanted that to kind of, I wanted that to be
Yes, Lord.
understood because he didn't have his own. So I didn't want you to feel like maybe one day down the road, you might say, I want my own seed. That
Man.
happens.
Nope.
Because
Nope.
if you did, like literally, we would have just had to kick it. And then
Nope.
if you told me I got a girlfriend, I would have been like, all right,
Nope.
holla.
No. Listen, I know now. Today, I actually knew probably 2 days after I moved to Texas and stepped in this life.
You better not.
I said immediately.
You ain't gonna do that.
Okay, it might not have been 2 days, but I'm gonna give it a smooth month. I immediately said, you know what? I think I'm good on the kids, guys. Don't even worry about it, baby. We can just tie all the tubes and the hoses and the things up right now.
Why you can't get a vasectomy?
I said, and the hoses and the things.
Is that what that was?
Yeah. Oh, I was supposed to say the
I feel like if you get a vasectomy, then a tubulatory. Is that how you say it?
I don't know what that is. I have
I feel
no
like
idea what that
is not even necessary.
Man, look, I will say this: it was definitely a stand up decision.
It was
to make for me.
It was
right, but I didn't hesitate, and I'm not bragging. I'm not patting my own back.
You should.
I just wanted to be understood that what was in my mind was, you want to be with this woman? Yes or no? Right? The answer was a solid yes, like strong, right? You can't have that solid or strong of an answer without understanding and accepting that she got kids. And so when I said, okay, you want to be with her, you got to go. You got to just do it. Now, granted, I didn't have my own. I haven't been in this situation. Well, I'll pause. Pause there for a second. Even though I haven't had my own, or I don't have my own, I think the decision to accept the kids and say you're going to step in that role came a little tiny bit easier because I have had experience. As a teenager growing up, I was put into a situation where I had to help my mom raise my nieces. Now, it was for a brief period of time, but we're talking about, younger than 15, and I'm helping my mom, who is about 45? Yeah, 45 at that point, raise two small toddlers. Right? And so I think not only did that mature me, but that also gave me just a little bit of backbone. I'm not going to say experience because I don't really remember everything I did during that time, but I feel like it gave me a little backbone and a little strength to say, well, you're going to jump in this role. You're going to take care of some kids. Take care of some kids. No, you don't know how to do it, but you're going to do it anyway. But.
Right. It was like, what were you about to say?
But I'll say this. I know I talk real tough. And like, yeah, I'm going to pop in there. It's all good. Yes, I accept them. I'm ready. I'm coming down to Texas. Come on, we're going to live together. It's going to be already. Nope.
It's going to be already.
It's going to be already.
It's so funny.
Nope. I was not ready. You talk about over your head. Yes, I was in over my head.
Yeah, you definitely came in immediately like, I'm the daddy. And it was like, it wasn't like a ease into a build the relationship with the kids type of situation. It was just like, they are 3 or 4. I'm here and they are my responsibility because I want to be with you. To some degree, that's true because you were dealing with me. We ended up living together. Yes, I do agree that you definitely had a responsibility for them, but then I also really just wanted them to be my responsibility as well.
Nah.
I mean, I understand, but that's
Nah.
kind of what it was. And parenting at that time, and even sometimes now, but more so at that time, was probably our most challenging aspect of our entire
I
relationship.
mean, it's definitely still is now. I'm gonna be honest. It's in the top 3. They say that the top 3 issues with relationships are parenting, finance, and sex. I just came up with that. I don't have any stats, guys, but that's what I believe.
Well, I think that you and I immediately realized that we are on 2 different spectrums when it comes to
Sure.
parenting styles and
Absolutely.
what that looked like and the way we
Absolutely.
wanted to raise our children.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're on different spectrums on a lot of things because we're 2 different people with 2 different mindsets. But don't get it twisted. I feel that compatibility is still there. You know what it is? 2 pieces in a puzzle. They look different, but they fit together.
That's good.
Look how wise I just became.
This is why I like him, because I want to tell y'all real quick, the way the sensation just moved through my body when he dropped some knowledge like
So here's the thing. The difference in us when it comes to parenting. I definitely came in immediately like, I'm here, I'm the daddy now. But don't get it twisted. I know that put respect on their father's name. I never take that respect away at all.
Right.
But I came in like, I'm the head of this household. So y'all are the kids that's living in it. So I'm immediately going to get into parental figure mode. It wasn't an ease into, I didn't really jump into that. Hey, come tell me about yourself. What's your name? What do you like to do? Let's go hold hands and walk through the park so you can get to know me. Nope. And I can accept today that that was incorrect. Straight up and down, incorrect. I definitely should have taken at least a little bit of time to say, I'm not coming in here trying to be your parent. I'm just coming in here as a new person in your mom's life. And I'm going to be around for a while, so let's get to know each other. So that was on me. And especially because they were 3 and 4.
Yeah, they were young.
They're 8 and 10 now. They were 3 and 4. Now, it's a little different now, right? Hey, it's been more than half of your life. We know what's up by now. But at that point, I could have came in a little differently. So, and I feel like my reasoning for coming in like that, my overall philosophy in life, and especially parenting, is about things have to make sense. If y'all only knew how much I follow, and is still a little messed up, but I don't know even how to say it because I feel like it's okay, but then it's times when it's messed up. Things have to make sense. I mean, they do. If anybody know me on Facebook, they know though that I just posted randomly like, okay, it doesn't have to make sense, Damon, because I got to start telling myself that. But now I'm
especially when it come to kids.
Yeah.
Everything they do won't make sense.
No, that's fair. I definitely am starting to see, and I'm trying my hardest to accept that clearly that is a bunch of horse doo-doo. Because it doesn't apply to kids. That whole things don't make sense or things have to make sense does not apply to kids. And it's so confusing for me, right? It's so hard for me to accept. It's so hard for me to see something from a kid's perspective that just blatantly don't make sense. I mean, there's no rational explanation that they can give or you can give. And it's so hard for me to be like, okay, let's just move on from it. No. My upbringing, my parental examples, right? What I was drilled was based on a very old school, hard, do as I say, things got to make sense. And that's all I know. That's what I came in. That's what my mind is shaped out of. And I feel like I turned out okay.
You have some
I feel like I'm good.
Everybody
has issues.
But you have some
Everybody
issues.
has issues. I don't care what parenting style you came up with. Everybody got issues. I feel like my issues are not that you aren't a rational or normal human being in this world. When I say I turned out okay, I simply mean that my upbringing didn't create anything in me where I feel like I'm crazy.
Right. You're successful. You work hard. You take care of your family. You have a family. So you are good, right? But there are things that the way we were parented because of what our parents knew and the parents before them and those before them, I think that it could be challenged some. And you don't go against that at all. Damon is a very old school type of parent. I think that you have definitely grown a little bit in that aspect over these last 6 years, but I definitely think that you are still stuck in some of that old school ways. And look, here, I am as well. I have some old school concepts, but the consequence or the punishment behind those are completely different. It's like we agree that something should take place, but we might not agree on what that something is. And I think that's the biggest difference between the two of us. I think that you grew up, or where we both grew up, where our parents didn't play, right? Anything happened, smack.
True that.
I
True
mean,
that. Right
anything
on.
happen, bring me the belt. You're on a punishment. You get all of that. And I think that when we first got together, that is what you thought parenting should be, and that's how you want it to be. But I wasn't having it.
True that. True that. I feel you.
It just wasn't gonna. It couldn't. It just wasn't gonna happen for me. Kids are gonna do
Mm.
certain things
Mm.
at 3 and 4
Mm.
that at 8 and 10 we not gonna allow them to do it. You're not gonna allow them to do it at 3 and 4, but you correct the behavior. But that don't mean you have to get the biggest consequence of them all. Let me whoop them.
Okay. Touche. And it's not so much about whooping them. It's not so much about me putting my hands on them. I wasn't just trying to slap them around or bare bottom whip them with belts. I do believed that it's about sternness. It's about some forcefulness. It's about something has to be done in regards to the things that they do with a certain amount of force in order to get through to kids. So what I mean by that, please don't take any offense, people out there, but there's parents who 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 17, their kids do something that is completely off the rack. I'm talking, ain't no explanation for it. You shouldn't have done it. It was wrong. And they want to hit them with the, oh my God, please don't do that anymore. Do you really believe that that kid heard you say that and had any type of remorse or feeling that they're not going to do it again, or felt like they did something bad, or felt like that they was in trouble, or no, they sat there and heard you and said, okay.
I agree.
And they walked away, and I promise if they had the opportunity to do it the next second, they would have done it. So my understanding and my belief is you need some forcefulness behind your parenting, discipline, consequence in order to get through to the kids. And obviously, we all know that the commonality of force when it comes to kids is some physicalness, right? Again, I wasn't trying to just whip them, but so we in that new world now. I get it.
I mean, it's not. I don't think that you have to be. I think it's a slave mentality to think that every time you frustrated with something your kid did, you slap them. And I just don't agree with that. But I do think there should be a consequence. I don't have a problem taking stuff away. I don't have a problem making you go to your room. I don't have a problem telling you can't go to a birthday party. I don't have a problem with taking all of the video games and all the toys and all the things. I have a problem. You can't go outside. Your bad. Fix it next time.
But you know what? Certain consequences like that, like you said, we're in this new world, right? You can't do certain things. We also in a new world where kids are different. Kids are different than us back in the day. To me, if my mom or somebody hit me with a swift tap on the forehead because of something I did, let me tell you something. I'm not going to do it again because I remember how that swift tap felt. These kids these days, certain consequences they take on the chin and they roll with it. Oh, I can't go outside? So what? I got a whole TV in my room. Oh, I got 18 million toys. Oh, you took away my tablet? Guess what? I got 18 other million toys. Oh, you said go in the room and don't turn on nothing? Guess what? I'm going to go to sleep. Nothing that the consequences doing is making me feel anything where I had a ramification that I did something and I need not to do it again. It's more so like I did something and now, so let me separate it. My parent is doing something to me and I don't like it, but I'm going to move on. But they don't correlate it with it's a punishment for something that you did. so that you can't do that thing again, because they end up doing it again. How many people right now really honestly can say when you got that whooping back in the day about something you did, I promise you, you ain't really turn around in the next few days and do it again.
You did.
Nah, you didn't.
You did. You just
Nah,
figured
you
out how
didn't.
not to get caught this time. That's what I'm thinking. Like,
Okay, and
that's
then
what I'm
after
saying.
how
Like,
many
it's
times?
not.
After how many times you might have did it again on a sneak and then got caught, and now it's the third and fourth time. By the fifth time, you probably ain't never do that thing again.
I think that's the case in some instances, but not all. And I think sometimes that you struggle with that because you are thinking that it's going to change, and sometimes it's just not. There are some things that will, and there are some things that will not. And that's my honest opinion. I think that your expectations were a little high in the beginning, and then you would get disappointed if they did not live up to those expectations. However, the one thing I did kind of say to you back then was just stay consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that they will learn to deal with you the way that you are. I don't think that they needed both of us to be the same way. I think they need a good balance. That might still be something we struggle with right now because sometimes we both be upset about the same things or we be frustrated about the same things. But I try not to come at them or go at them when I'm in a frustrated state. I try to like do it when I'm calm if I can, because I'm just the type of person that just blows up.
Right. And for me, it's not so much that I'm going to blow up in the situation, but I don't know how to, or I have a struggle with, I should say, calmly walking away to come back at a different time and have a conversation.
Right. And I think they expect that from you, though. I think they expect you to say something when something needs to be said or when you feel something needs to be said. And I think that they expect it, they respect it. It's not like they don't love you or don't care about you. It's like that's our dad.
But the expectation and that they have of me with doing that turns into a we look at him like the bad guy. Basically, because he's going to say something about everything in the moment it happens, now we're fearful.
So,
which a little bit of fear is cool. I'm cool with that, right? I feel like
right.
Your kids should be a little scared of you, but not to the fact of that is the overall persona that they have of you. Like,
Well, that's not though, because they definitely still thinks that you're like you not still, but also thinks that you're like the hype person. I remember one time Riley was like, Coop gonna always get it hype. He gonna always like we were at a
I
football
try.
game or something. Like they expect you to also go very, very hard for them, even though, they also expect you to discipline them. And I think that's a good balance of parenting.
I try.
I don't think it's anything wrong with that. I think that even though you have your way of handling things and I have my way of handling things, and sometimes I raise my eyebrow at the way you do things, and sometimes you probably do the same with me. I think that I am trying to learn to allow that to happen so that that relationship could be created. Their biological dad was for you disciplining and you having a say so because you're here. So
it's an interesting concept and aspect, and relationship and consistency for me is a work in progress for sure, because I do go back and forth with I want to be consistent in my discipline and how I operate as a parent, but then I also don't want
them to be mad at you.
no, you can I guess in a way. You can be mad at me, but then take that on back to the room with you. Like, be mad at me on your own time under your own walls, but also don't just think that I am being hard on you for no reason. I wish there could be an understanding within kids' minds of what we're trying to do, of what is a parent actually trying to get through to us. Is it that they're just fussing or disciplining us for a situation and I don't know why, or I don't care why, or they wrong when we're actually not? Yeah, I wish they could be like, oh, you know what? I do understand that he's fussing because he just cleaned his car and now I just ate this donut and there's a million crumbs on the back seat. I would be mad too. Why can't the kid? I mean, it seems like it makes sense that this not the first time, but if it's the fifth time, that I've turned around and said, man, my car is so dirty. Please don't spill stuff. And they spill it, and I got to fuss the second and third time about why you pick up your trash or why did you spill all that. So now it's the fifth time, and I got to fuss again. Why can't the mindset be, yeah, I can see that he gonna fuss at this one because he said it before, not just one time, two times, three times, four times. I do see that I dropped a bunch of crumbs, and I do know that he just had it cleaned yesterday. I mean, yeah, I would be mad at me too.
I honestly think that it's unrealistic to think that they're going to think the way that we think. Now, I do think there are some instances where they just automatically go with it, because I have seen, and I think you can admit to that you've also seen the actual growth or the change in them over the years. And I think as they continue to grow up and get older, we'll start seeing that the things that we implement and the morals and values and the characteristics that we're trying to build in them now, they'll just pour out on their own.
Right. The kicker is just like in any relationship, especially with kids, it's all about communication for me. I can understand that it might not be a reality for them to think the way that we think, but I don't think it's an unrealistic expectation that your kids actually just talk. That's a big thing for me. I feel like every kid has the ability to communicate. Now, whether they do or not is probably based on a bunch of different factors, a whole lot of factors, right? But they have the ability to talk. So for me, it's all about communication. Let me explain this. I feel like while I hear the statement that kids' minds aren't fully developed, and I believe that to an extent, but I also feel like they're smarter than what we think they are. And we let them slide on a lot of things based on this overarching principle that, oh, they just kids, their minds aren't developed and they don't think like this. And to me, I feel like you can't just tell me, oh, I can't talk, or I don't know what to say, or I don't know is the answer to everything. And you can't explain a situation that's going on, or you can't remember something I said, or you don't understand what I'm saying in 1 minute. But then the very next minute, you can come and have a full on deep philosophical, I mean, you remember the details from A to Z. You can communicate every word verbally about something that's of interest to you. This is the kid. It could be a topic, something that happened in school, an event, a toy or a game, or something that you want. I mean, you can come and talk your brains out about it. I feel like we as parents, this is all parents, and if you're not, please give me a comment. I feel like we all allow the lack of communication with the kids when it comes to talking to us about situations that occur. Maybe they're, negative situations or questionable situations, but we don't see that, well, they can talk when they want to talk. So what is the difference? Why don't we? Why
Is
don't?
this a thought that you have now, or early on?
It happens now too. It's very dependent on what is happening.
Right. So I think that's a human thing, right? I don't think that's just a kid thing, because adults do it too, right?
No,
Adults shut down all the time.
no, ma'am.
Adults shut down all the time and can't have a full grown adult conversation.
But you know what the communication will be? Hey, I don't feel like talking about this right now, so I'm not. That's different than saying I don't know how to, or I can't talk about this situation. I don't know the words. I don't know what we're talking about. I don't have no words. I
But
don't
they
know.
might not be able to formulate the thought or express that thought. It is something that takes, time and practice on knowing how to fully, effectively express how you feel and your thought about what you did. So when you start putting all these different thought processes in children's head, they're like trying to figure out how to get it all out. And it might be okay for some than others. Like Riley can talk about certain things and Junior can too. But Junior more so is going to shut down if he feels he automatically is in trouble.
That's fair.
So, but I'm not saying that they shouldn't talk though. I mean, I'm not, I want to make that clear. I'm just saying I have an understanding of why things happen the way that they do. And I think because the understanding is there, it does create a different level of patience with the child. One of the things that I struggled with in my parenting was speaking up for my kids, especially when I felt like they couldn't really speak for themselves. This would be even when you or my mom or someone was saying something that wasn't meant to harm them or wasn't going to harm them. It was just not something that maybe I would have reacted to. And so I remember I had a friend that said, "Do you feel like they're being harmed?" I'm like, "No." And so she's like, "Well, are you trying to raise your kids to know how to deal with you? Or
Mm-hmm.
are you trying to raise your kids to know how to deal with the world?"
Right, right,
And with them needing to know how to deal with the world, they have to learn how to deal with different personalities. So you can't always basically interject and speak for them. And I'm like, ugh, okay, that made sense, but that also like just stuck with me throughout this parenting process. And it pushes me to teach them to try to have those conversations. And, that is hard, right?
mm-hmm.
Because like you said, get it out, basically.
Right,
Like it's not hard, but I have to try to teach them how to process those emotions.
right. I get that. I get that. So for me, yes, I understand my reactions can be a bit over the top sometimes. I'll accept that and I'm accountable for that. I think it's solely based on the whole sensibility thing, right? My mindset is everything got to make sense. And I mean, I don't know about y'all, but for me in life in general, anything, it could be in TV world, it could be in real world, anything. As soon as I interact with or observe something or even a part of something that doesn't make sense, don't you have an immediate reaction to it? I don't know about y'all, I do. I have an immediate reaction to stuff that don't make sense. I just kirk out a little bit. So for me, it seems there are always about 1,000 mini situations that are on constant rotation all day, everything that don't make sense. And it's hard for me to just calmly on every single one of them be like, okay, move on, or not even move on, but just be like, okay, or have a calmer reaction than I normally do. It's always going to be something, like I said, I'm working on it. So I'm working on it, but it's normally, and I'm trying to push through and do something different in life. It's normally a type of reaction. And that's the least of it. It's always followed by something because I just don't understand.
We're really transparent in this conversation because this is a vulnerable topic for us because this is real life. This is one of our challenges, literally, So I think sometimes for me in my mind, I'm like, why do we have these expectations for children that we don't have for adults? Like we allow adults to just do certain things that we just never would allow for a child to do. And we want children to be able to control their emotions and not have a reaction to certain things. And I remember growing up and being like, not understanding or knowing how to express how I felt because I was told, because I said so, or I was told if I tell you to do something, you just do it. Or if an adult believed a situation to be, I couldn't say anything different than that because it wasn't accepted.
Right.
And
Parents know best.
huh?
Parents know best, and parents know more than a kid.
Sometimes, right? But
Mm,
I think that it's okay to sometimes understand where they're coming from. I don't have a hear me out when I say, I'm not saying let them tell you how something should be and it will be. How many times have you heard me say to them, I understand how you feel in that moment, but you're only thinking about part one. I know about part two, three, four, five, and six. So my thought about this whole situation expands further than what they're thinking because they're just not equipped to do that just yet because they don't have fully developed brains like we do or they haven't had experiences like we have.
sure, fair
So
enough.
I'm like, I hear you. I understand that you feel that way. However, this is the case.
But you're talking about their feelings. It's not so much an expectation for me for them to control or not show their emotions or their feelings. I'm more so focused on what is the situation that's happening currently that's invoking that emotion and feeling. Like, I get that you want to allow them, and they should be. I don't see a problem with that, to be able to express their feelings about something that's going on. Okay, that's fair. For me, going back to the statement I said a minute ago, if we actually take a pause on something that just happened and they were able to have a developed mindset to say, well, what situation actually just happened? And does it warrant my feeling that I have? Because was I right, wrong, or
That's so
different?
complex for a kid.
Well, okay, fair enough. That's fair,
That's
right?
why we're supposed to teach them. We teach them how to dissect all of that. So, like, if you're on a football team, or you're on a basketball team, or a sports team, or when you learned how to play softball, you didn't get up there and your coach told you how to swing and you got good at it the first time. How many times did you have to go over practice with swinging? And
Okay.
let's be honest,
Okay, but check it out. How many times did you have to go up there and figure out how to swing, right? It's so crazy that we talking about this particular example because there's a movie, Adam Sandler movie, Blended, matter of fact, so crazy. The Blended movie, Adam Sandler, and the little boy was in Little League, and he had a problem with controlling his emotions, and he would go in there and swing, and every time he swung and missed, he would go crazy with like throwing the bat down, having a temper tantrum, right? The question is, that's fine to have that feeling and emotion, and we need to teach them how not to have that. But okay, you taught it the first time. All right, fair enough. You taught it the second time. Okay, you're now on the 10th time that you had to say, hey man, you don't have to have such a over exaggerated emotional feeling about this situation. At what point does the kid say, yes, I'm still mad I missed, swung and missed, but I mean, I'm going to have a temper tantrum like the very first time? I mean,
no.
my parents and people have told me, hey, do this to get better or do this to handle your emotions. So I'm going to do it every single time.
That's where consequence come in. You won't play. Okay, a couple of things though. Before we get to that, the first thing I'm gonna do is teach you how to deal with that emotion. I'm gonna validate it because you're upset, right? Ultimately, he was upset because he didn't get it. He didn't get the ball. He didn't swing, whatever the case may be. But then I need to tell you, hey, son, that's not how you handle that situation. Let me give you some examples to deal with that emotion when you start to feel it, right?
Sure.
So now I'm going to give
Sure.
you that. So now the expectation is you do something different because I've now taught you.
So that's the expectation.
Right. So if you
Right.
don't do that, okay, I told you what to do. You didn't do it. You do it again. You won't play baseball.
So, and nowhere in your rationalization there does it fall upon the kid's mind to develop into something that they can internally change themselves. When does that happen?
You have to teach. You don't want to teach them?
No, no, you can teach all day, but we're still individuals at the end of the day, kid or not kid. Meaning, you can teach, but if that little boy still walked up to the plate the very next time, swung and decided, or not even decided, yeah, because he decided,
right,
to have the same temper tantrum, that means your teaching and stuff, it's yeah, you've been teaching, but when is it
no,
still
I'm not
gonna
going to be
click
teaching. I'm
in
not going to
here?
do the same thing over and over and over and over
Right.
again.
So now you
Because then
said
I'm the
move
crazy
to
person. Now we just won't play
consequences.
baseball because
Right.
obviously you don't know how to handle it.
But where in the progression from teaching, or how about we start from the beginning? From a kid having a natural emotion or feeling to a kid having to learn what to do, what's happening in the situation, and why am I having this emotion, and how do I deal with it? To the parent trying to teach them about it, how to deal with it, and then consequences because it's not happening. Where in all of that does the kid actually say, I'm not going to do this? Or here it is, understanding and acceptance.
Understanding and acceptance can come at level 1, 2, or 3. It depends on the kid. You can't expect the same that like all kids to do one thing.
What you mean by levels?
Like the initial, you said he swung and he missed. So there might be a kid that don't affect them. That's the way that it did the little boy in the movie. But then the little boy in the movie, now we're gonna say, hey son, don't do that. You know, the first time you might be like, don't do that. That ain't how you react. But then that, to me, there should be some sort of examples of how to deal with that feeling and emotion after the game. You know, you talk to him. What was you feeling? What was going on? You try to talk to him. Okay, when you feel like that, that's good. I understand, but that's not how you react. Then let's go out here and let's practice. Let's do, whatever we need to do to help our kid not feel that. So the next time when you have already told them, if you do it again, if you feel that way again, this is what you need to do. These are the things, not that. And if, like you said, he decide there are some kids, there are some kids that might get it from you doing all that you did before the next game. But then there are some kids that might, like you said, decide to still react the same way. Okay, well now I told you the last time, didn't I tell you? So now you're not going to be able to play the game. You're going to sit out a game or 2 or 3 or just come out the whole season, depending on how far you want to take it. Maybe that's when they get it. I think it just depends on the kid, because they, like you've heard the saying, you can't parent all kids the same, right?
Mm-hmm. So here's another question for you then. What do you feel about this, I'll call it new age parenting that's out here today, when in actuality is just creating spoiledness in the kids, in my opinion? Do you think there is a correlation between what we're trying to do as parents in today's world, versus that, oh, don't be old school. So that's why I say new age, right? Don't be old school, and the kids being spoiled. Do you think parents who don't want to do that whole old school method create these kids who may end up lacking some qualities like gratefulness and appreciation and understanding, and develop more qualities like attitudes and being mean or being standoffish?
No and yes. I think it just depends on how it is presented and how it's handled each time. I don't think doing it the new way just automatically creates those characteristics, but I think that it can. But I also think, like with anything new, you try to there's a process to it, and it gets better with time. The old age was, you go up there, you had a temper tantrum. I'm gonna come up here and have a temper tantrum with you too. So I'm teaching you to have a temper tantrum. I'm teaching you that behavior is okay, because I'm gonna show you that, versus showing you something different so that you can learn something different. I think gratefulness and appreciation doesn't have to come with. I think those are separate from how I provide a punishment or a consequence to you based off of choices that you decide. I'm big on choices and the consequence or the reward that comes with it.
So you look at it as what we're showing them versus what they get out of it. So I feel like the old school, you said, the kid has a temper tantrum, so the adult is going to have a temper tantrum with them.
Right.
And so they see temper tantrum, but the kid ain't supposed to be actually looking at what we're giving, but actually taking what we're giving them. So to me,
right, but then you're teaching them that when they get older and they're upset, this is how you handle it. You yell at someone, you fuss at them, you hit them.
Okay, that's fair. I can see that correlation happening. There is a possibility that if something's happening and the kid did something wrong, and they're being met with something slight, something low key, yes, they could look at it and say, oh, wow, my adult parent didn't respond in a crazy way. And that's how I should be as an adult, is not be crazy, right? But did they feel anything about the situation that they did wrong?
I think so. There are so many things that our children say when they see other kids behave a certain way, when they see certain things. They don't always make the right decision when they're doing things, and like I said, they're kids. I don't expect them to. So when they don't, I deal with that. But then they'll say something, and I'll be like, "Oh, they listen," and it'll pay off. There's so many things that I said to myself as I got older, once I became a young adult, that I heard my mom, I heard my grandmothers, I heard the people that I grew up around that was instilling things in me that I didn't hear or understand so much when I was growing up. But then it just slapped me in the face one day.
So the payoff is when you become an adult. Yeah. So are you parenting?
That's what we're raising them for, to be great adults.
We're parenting them to be great adults, but not to handle the ill activity as a kid.
I think it's both. I think the difference for you is just expectation. It's just expectation. You expect. I think you want, or your goal will be able to not have to do anything. You just want them to just automatically know and automatically do. That's so unrealistic. I think it's crazy to think. And then turn around and make somebody think, well, what's wrong with him?
I think it's crazy.
You have to teach a kid.
I think it's crazy to not believe that you can have a kid that don't do the temper tantrums in a store. This is solely where I'm at with it. I want to believe, or my philosophy follows, that there is a possibility, or I would like it to be a possibility. I feel like I keep being met with, nope, that's not reality. But why not? Why can it not be reality that, I'm not saying immediately out the womb, but I'm saying at some point in a kid's life, not when they get teenager, young adult, but at some point in a kid's life, why can't I expect that? No, this kid will not ever have a temper tantrum in a store. Because maybe it happened 1 or 2 or 3 times where I had to teach it, and there was some discipline or some parenting that happened, and now it's over. What's wrong with having that belief that that's a possibility? I feel like I'm being met with, nope, you gonna have to deal with ill activity from your kids as they being kids, period. And you work on just your parenting style to make it better so they turn out to be great adults. Okay. And I'm not dismissing that latter part. But what you mean you just got to deal with ill activity just because they kids?
I didn't say you have to deal with it.
But I feel like that's the reality of the world. When you put everything together when it talks about parenting, it's like, oh no, they're going to do stuff, or they don't have the mindset to do this, or they're, just kids, or it's always going to be something that says, no, you going to deal with X, Y, and Z as a kid. But why can't I have the possibility that why not? Why does it have to be something that they're gonna do? Why can't the teaching and the parenting be efficient enough to where it just stops it? Like I said, unrealistic. Somebody is laughing and like, man, you I don't know what world you live in, right? I understand that's not this world. That's not reality, but why can't it be? That's it. That's just my thought. So I have to deal with, for me, truly not being crazy to wake up every day thinking that I live in a different world where you're gonna have perfection happening out of your kids. And I mean, that's fair. That's fair. But situations happen throughout the day where I'm like, well, this could have been perfect. Like, this didn't have to happen again. This situation, this particular little one, it didn't have to happen again. So, moving on though, we'll say this. We talking about, my question was about old school versus new school, or, the old school parenting style and this new age parenting. Coincidentally, I'm not sure if anybody remembers this or was watching TV during this time, but on ABC, there came on a very good show that helped us a lot, or was at least interesting to watch, and that directly relates to this topic. And it was simply called The Parent Test. It was on ABC. I'm not sure if it's still on there now. I think it was on Hulu for a while. It was a show about different real life families and their different parent styles. Do you remember all of this?
I do.
Do you remember what the parenting styles were?
I do. We actually watched it with the kids as well, just so they can see and get insight on the styles of parenting. And even their reactions to some of the kids was like, whoa, what's happening there? So the different styles were intensive, high achievement, disciplined, free range, natural, helicopter, child led, routine, negotiation, traditional, strict, and new age.
Listen, we got so much to say about these daggone styles. We ain't got to get into all of it, but child led, free range, negotiation, what?
I think that for my double dog there, I would say for you all to look these up and kind of have a conversation with your person to see like where do we fall? Are we on the same page? Are we not on the same page? Is there things that we need to adjust? And I think it's super important because at one point in life, these kids will be gone. They'll be out of the house. And so if you're all are not on the same page or have at least some of the same ideas about what you want to do with the kids, when they leave, eh, what is it going to look like in your home?
Mm-hmm.
Will you be have a connection with your partner? Will you all still be happy and having fun with each other? Because I think that honestly for us, even though this topic is like super awkward and creates a tension between us sometimes, I think that overall because we are able to allow each other to be who we will be with the kids and trusting that we have our best interest in heart. I mean have their best interest in heart. I think that's the reason why we're able to overcome it. Sometimes we are in 100% agreement with each other. And then sometimes it's like, what is happening around
Mm-hmm.
here? And that's on both sides, like not just my side. I think he feels the same way. And so I think it's super important for you to, if this is a struggle issue for other couples, like it kind of is for us, hopefully, starting here by looking at and looking these, because let me just be honest. Before this show, I didn't even know these
No,
existed.
no, not at all. This seems it seems weird. And if you watch the show or even just look up the definitions, I think you will be super surprised, like we were about. Oh, this is what's going on. Like his parents out here doing all of this. Oh no, well, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. And I think every category had its pros and its cons, but I think
Man,
overall there was one that stood out the most. And I don't think it's anything wrong with having some structure because you can still have a relationship with structure, which is one of the reasons why, if you go back, I said to you in the beginning, I think you should just stay consistent. If they know who you are and what to expect from you, they'll do what you need them to do. And I think that your relationship with them has blossomed so much. I think it's beautiful.
that's fair. I appreciate that.
It's stressful, but I think that's just parenting. I honestly think parenting is probably one of the hardest jobs that
Oh,
we'll
it's ridiculous.
ever have to do.
No, it's absolutely
I
ridiculous.
think trying to raise someone and make sure that they turn out to be good people is a difficult task. They say it does not come with a rule book, but we do have resources. We have resources
Mm-mm-mm.
in other people. We have resources on the internet, in therapy. We have resources. I remember one of our therapy sessions, the therapist said to me, well, Damon did just become like an instant father. So you've had this moment of when they first came out to deal with certain things with them and learn certain things as it goes. You also had a stepchild from or bonus child from a previous marriage from when she was 9.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's things that I knew or I learned, but then there's also things that I just as a mother that I just know.
Sure.
I know that sometimes you say you don't know da 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 da.
Uh,
I know how they're feeling and what they're thinking sometimes. And there are times where I'm wrong, but for the most part I can just feel it and it's just one of those things. Like I know what my mom says when she says a mother always knows. I ask them questions sometimes and they look me in the face like, now how does she know that?
I can agree that through some magical way that you all know the inner deep details of your kid, even if they don't say it or if somebody else is thinking something different. What I feel is that everything is based on situations that happen, and you don't always know the details of all the situations that be happening. I see them develop, and I think that's why I'm so focused on the situation themselves, because I'm like, man, come on. Like, I sat here and watched this thing develop from the beginning to now, the point of the kid is in the feelings, we got emotions, we got to talk about it, and we got to have a conversation,
Why you
and
didn't
you got to
address it
teach.
when it was
But the
beginning?
situation, it's like, what? Why? How? Why? What? Why did we even have to have that situation occur from the beginning? You know what? I'm going to use this to go right into my unpopular opinion. Check it out, guys. It is UPO time, unpopular opinion. And here's my unpopular opinion. I'm putting it out there real simple. Teaching a parental lesson. And this should be something that you guys are doing every day. It should be a priority. But I believe that teaching a parental lesson should not just be in the form of a conversation. In a way, you almost have to make the kid feel like the situation that occurred was not quite smart. I want to say another word, but I'm going to say it that way. Now, hear me out. I'm not saying make the kid themselves feel like they're stupid. It's a difference to me. It's more so about putting some emphasis on the situation to make them understand, like, yeah, that was probably stupid that I did that anyway, or I attempted to do that, or because, most of the time when stuff happened, they don't even have no reason why they did it in the first place. So it's like, well, what you think about it? The installation of morals and values and mindsets and or ways of being need to be more practical and hands-on than just a conversation. I feel like it needs to be felt and not just heard. I'm not saying that you can't have a conversation, but I feel like it's got to be something additionally to ensure that that kid feels, understands, or accepts that the situation that happened, not your feelings and not you, but the situation that happens was XYZ.
Do you have any example?
I do have an example, actually. Here's a good one. We got 4 chairs on the table. Now, granted, for a set period of time in life, each kid was sitting at a specific chair on the table. Mind you, there's nothing different about the chair. There's no benefit to one or the other. It's just where they decided to sit at. Well, one random day, one kid decides, I'm going to sit in the other person's chair that they were sitting at. Immediately, let's all ask together, why? Just why?
We're talking about the attachment to it, though, right?
No. I'm solely talking about the situation in and of itself.
Well, you said that you feel like how it's handled it's not it should be more than just the talking to. So I asked for an example
Right.
of.
So my example in that, it really goes down to the immediate question of why. And then when you're met with that proverbial, I don't know, that's when it needs to be further conversation. This is going back to my UPO. It needs to be something to make that kid understand, well, don't you think what you did was stupid? Don't you think what you did shouldn't happen again? Don't you think if you don't have an answer to why that you shouldn't do it again? Not me telling you. See, what I mean by not just a conversation, it shouldn't be just, hey, don't do that again because blah, blah, blah. No, it should be the kid saying, you know what? You're right. I didn't have an answer. I didn't have a reason. Didn't really cause anything beneficial. It didn't do nothing for nobody. Yeah, that was probably stupid. I don't want to do that again. Parenting is hard. Parenting is definitely difficult, to say the least. I applaud with everything that I have those that make it look easy, those that deal with it on a daily basis. I applaud you. Kudos to you. I think it requires a strong mindset and mentality, and maybe that comes with being a natural parent. Maybe shouts out to all of the bonus parents that don't have that natural parent bone in them, that may be struggling a little bit, like myself. I'm there with you.
So thank you for listening to us today. We hope that you got something out of the parenting conversation. You understood kind of where we're coming from. It's almost just ended up like a conversation between he and I about how we handle or how we think about what's going on with us trying to make sure that we raise responsible kids with good characteristics. I think at the end of the day, it's important to note that we both want the best for them. I don't think because Coop or boyfriend thinks differently about how things are, even though in my frustration I'm like, I still understand that he wants them to be good people. I still understand that he wants them to be successful people. I still understand that he loves them and he treats them as if they are his own children. And I will forever be grateful for that, because I know that might not be the case for everyone. And so, even still in that, I know that we are ultimately have the end goal, the same end goal. It just looks different. It's just like a detour. We can get to the same place or the same destination, but we just taking a different path. And so I hope that this sparks a conversation with you. Maybe you heard something and you can say, "Oh, I felt that before, and this is how I overcame it." Or I talked to someone and they dealt with it, told me to deal with it this way. Like, share that with us, because that's what this community should be about. It should be about couples helping each other and pushing each other to be intentional and stay together on purpose.
So we definitely thank you again for listening, and make sure you check us out every Thursday on all podcast streaming platforms at Together on Purpose.
And check us out on our website at www.togetheronpurpose.com. That's the number 2, getheronpurpose.com.
And also be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Together on Purpose.
Share your thoughts via DM or email us at thecoopers@togetheronpurpose.com.
And again, we thank you guys for listening. We hope you have a good week. Make sure you tune in next time.
Later.